When you're watching a movie or a TV show, was there ever a moment that just freaked you out? You don't really know why, it just did. Maybe it's a character, their surroundings, something they do, or you're just plain unsettled. But any way you slice it, you can't stand sitting through it. They just freak you out. Well, I've had my own share of moments that freak me out in the past, whether I know why or not. Get ready to be human and horrified, folks, because this is the top 5 moments that freak me out.
Greetings! Hey!
Inka Dinka says the time has come.
Ever since this guy came on the scene, he scared me. I don't know why. His booming voice, his unmoving mouth, his booby-trapped temple, it just doesn't sit right.
To know everything, you must give up everything.
Inka Dinka is some kind of giant totem pole who acts as a temple god, naming Donkey Kong the future ruler of Congo Bongo after he found the crystal coconut. He consists of 4 rotating faces: solemn or neutral, happy or content, serious or mad, and ballistically furious. What mainly gets to me about Inka Dinka is the fact that his temper is as tiny as, well, tiny! Come to his temple for advice? He'll gladly share some with you. Didn't quite understand it the first time? God help you.
To wake the ape and move the sun in the sky, you must plant a kiss from the apple in his eye.
Huh? Well, that makes no sense. Could you repeat that just so we got it right? Oh, never mind. I think I got it.
Speaking of God, remember how I said in my top 5 most awesome video game mentors that Rosalina was pretty much God in the Mario universe? Inka Dinka is pretty much God in the Donkey Kong universe, and yeah, if I say that, you can see at least one of the reasons why it would freak me out. The other is, I think Inka Dinka is putting poor DK's life at risk in this show. And we know he's gonna come out okay in the end, but one of the booby traps in Inka Dinka's temple is a series of fast-paced sharp arrows flying everywhere. Sheesh, that's a little extreme, don't you think? There's a couple times he does stuff like that. Story's supposed to be guiding DK to the path of victory, but the methods of doing so are very extreme methods. So yeah, for me, I couldn't find much to like about this character. I guess he made the show more fun for the big kids, but in my book, he just freaks me out.
Inka Dinka
Four!
How can a Thomas the Tank Engine music video make a list of moments that freak me out? It's not so much the music video itself. I mean, once you hear that song, it'll be in your head for hours. It's about the visuals in this music video, namely those concerning that frickin' owl. Look at those big glowing eyes. He's peering deep into your soul. What do you want from me? Certain other visuals didn't help much either. There's a breakdown train that apparently has a mind of its own, and lomgnomes that apparently have minds of their own too. Someone went nuts with that stuff. Slow down, guys. The owl's soulless eyes are creeping me out. Also, most of the Thomas music videos in the past like to use footage from their stories, with only occasional exceptions. This was honestly the first music video I remember using the most footage that wasn't from their stories, including the soulless eyes. Especially ironic since they're telling you not to be afraid. I know I lost it when this happened.
It's just your imagination. Look, it's just the wise old owl.
Ah! Right the f*** out of nowhere! What are 2 f***ing owls doing in the f***ing smelters anyway? Go back to the f***ing trees. Not to say I didn't like the music video, cause I did, but it still falls in the category of, I don't really know why, it just does. If you didn't grow up with Thomas the Tank Engine, you just don't understand. You just don't understand.
3.
What do you know? It scares little kids and little monsters.
This dude is just creepy. He has bags under his eyes, invisibility, and serious knowledge of machinery. Always out for his own good, part of Randall's position in this list is just his pure perseverance. Through countless futile efforts to be top scarer, he keeps competing against the true top scarer, Sullivan. He even teams up with the true main villain of this movie, Waternoose. Yeah, I kinda spoiled it for those who haven't seen the movie. And together they come up with a plan to suck out the screams of children through some kind of vacuum-like torture device.
Say hello to the scream extractor. Hello.
The suction from that thing can either suffocate kids or give them severe brain damage.
Well, that's brain damage!
Now, here's a toughie. I'm not sure if the character Randall or the things he does is the bigger freakout moment, but what got to me personally was his invisibility. Once he turns invisible, you're totally clueless on where he is. He could be right behind you, and you can't see him because, guess what? He's invisible.
You don't know how long I've wanted to do that, Sullivan.
He also scored points on this list for the way he just loses it in the climax of the film after Waternoose tells him,
Sullivan was twice the scarer you will ever be.
That and the destruction of the scream extractor helped Randall find his new purpose in life. Take Sullivan down.
You've been number one for too long, Sullivan. Now your time is up.
As I said before, when I was a lot younger, I actually thought he was the main villain of the movie instead of Waternoose. Besides, working for a company designed to scare little kids for energy has to give you some level of freakiness.
You're still behind, Randall. You know, maybe I should realign the screen intake.
Just get me another door.
The door, yes, door.
Oh, and if you haven't seen Monsters University yet, I have only one thing to say to you. Without giving too much away, let's just say this picture right here, yeah, big clue.
You hear that? It's the winds of change.
2.
The Simpsons Treehouse of Horror is crazy popular, and the 3 shorts they have to offer you every year are actually pretty entertaining.
Are you ready for tales that will shatter your spine and boil your blood?
Well, duh.
But none of them were really that scary, so they never really freaked me out anyway. Well, except for one thing. If you watch The Simpsons, you're probably familiar with the Gracie Films logo that plays after nearly every Simpsons episode. The logo itself plays a really soothing jingle that actually gives off a great ready to close out for the week vibe, and sounds suspiciously like King of Wishful Thinking by Go West. Well, anyway, if you like the regular Gracie Films logo, you'll love this. In case you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm. Yeah, I may not be scared by Treehouse of Horror, but anyone can tell you that this is just too much. Even by Treehouse of Horror standards. It comes right the hell out of nowhere and completely caught me off guard when I first saw this. As you can probably tell right now, I'm not too crazy about jump scares. The owl popping out of the smelters, Randall's invisibility, and now this. Man, what a freak out.
1.
Alright, let's get this over with. Mind pollution, yay! Captain Planet is one of those shows that try to get kids to protect the environment. It was never something that I thought would be up my alley, and I avoided it for a while. But I stumbled across this episode on YouTube, and I thought, what the hell. So I sat down, I watched it, and I have to say, at first, I was friggin' pulled into it. The characters were likable, and the settings were cool. I was getting so invested in these characters, what happened to them, and how they were gonna get out of this one. The music was nice, the suspense was nice, I was totally digging it. And then one of the main characters gets hooked on drugs. This is where it all goes to hell. You see, one of the Planeteers is going to visit her cousin in Washington, only to find out he's hooked on drugs, and actually gets her hooked on drugs. Charmed yet? And they're not the only ones. A whole town of teenagers is hooked on drugs. Let me tell you, when I hear mind pollution, this is not the first thing that comes to my mind. If only this episode would have had, like, mind control technology. That would have been awesome. But no. Instead, we got one giant freak-out moment, where the music is louder than the dialogue. But the biggest insult, and isn't that saying a great deal, was the fact that the cousin actually dies from a lethal drug overdose. This is supposed to be a kid show?
Bliss killed him. I'm sorry.
I mean, look at this. If I were to show you a certain snippet of it or two out of context, would you ever guess this was an environmental educational show? No. You'd say it was a poorly animated version of Treehouse of Horror. I mean, Treehouse of Horror wouldn't be this freaky. So yeah, the music that's way too loud, the drug overdose, the bleeding, you'd really think I hate this episode. And, well, yeah, I do really hate parts of it. When they have to get graphic, it's pretty freaky. Oddly enough, with Captain Planet formally on around 5 or 6 a.m., times when I'm usually asleep, it's all making sense.
No, I polluted myself. No, no, no!
So there you go. Those are the top 5 moments that freak me out. I'm sorry, I still can't get over the music being louder than the dialogue. I mean, if there were to be music to be playing while I was talking,
away from
I'd
it all.
try to
Let's take a trip in a trailer. No need to come back at all. Let's take a powder to Boston for chowder. Let's get away from it all.